The ASEAN Clearinghouse Mechanism, one-stop shop for biodiversity information in Southeast Asia. One region, 10 countries, a vast array of species and habitats linked together in one website. Although small in size, Southeast Asia houses 19% of all animals and plants assessed by the International Union for Conservation of Nature in 2014. The region has the most extensive and diverse corals in the world, making up 28% of global total. Unfortunately, the region's rich biological resources are threatened by habitat change, climate change, invasive alien species, overexploitation, pollution, and poverty. To minimize the impacts of these multiple threats, conservation programs, biodiversity monitoring activities, and decision-making processes must be supported with a robust biodiversity information database. In response to this need, the ASEAN Center for Biodiversity, or ACB, established the ASEAN Clearinghouse Mechanism, or ASEAN CHM website.
The ASEAN Clearinghouse Mechanism is ACB's contribution to science-based decision-making for biodiversity conservation in Southeast Asia. It is designed to support the ASEAN member states in meeting their reporting requirements to multilateral environmental agreements, particularly to the Convention on Biological Diversity, or the CBD, with special emphasis on meeting the Aichi targets. The ASEAN CHM is a platform for biodiversity information sharing in the region. It provides free and easy access to the regional species, protected areas, and invasive species databases and other knowledge products.
The ASEAN CHM was designed to function as a gateway to all available biodiversity-related information in Southeast Asia. It is aimed at providing a cohesive and integrated perspective of the region's biological resources. The website provides an entry point to the national CHMs of ASEAN member states. The national CHMs show the country's progress in biodiversity conservation efforts. The ASEAN CHM provides a range of services, such as providing biodiversity-related information, capacity-building guides and tools to aid the ASEAN member states in conservation planning, monitoring, and decision-making. The species database holds over 58,000 records. As an early warning facility, the database on invasive alien species provides the reference for necessary security action and raises the urgency of biodiversity conservation. Auto summaries that support country analysis of threatened animals and plants can be accessed in just one click. The Friends of Biodiversity database makes it easy to locate and identify experts on various environment and biodiversity-related fields in Southeast Asia. Capacity-building tools made accessible online are designed to assist ASEAN member states in establishing their national CHMs, organizing species and protected area information, and preparing length-at-first maturity posters for public awareness campaigns. Information on the resources and management of the ASEAN Heritage Parks, or AHPs, in the region is provided through the AHP database. The e-library holds copies of some 11,000 journals, researches, and articles in various environment and conservation topics, alphabetically arranged from access and benefit sharing to wildlife protection. Mobile applications of the AHP webpage and the e-library can be downloaded from this website. The Species in Protected Areas online tool intends to overlay species occurrence and distribution data on habitat and protected area maps to determine the protection status of species and look into the adequacy of areas allocated for protected areas. An Aichi Targets web service will provide access to biodiversity trends relevant to monitoring ASEAN member states' compliance with the Aichi targets. This web service features interactive graphs that transform statistics into easy-to-understand visuals on ecosystems and species trends for each of the 20 targets.
there are times that decisions has to be made and be firm enough on deciding based on facts, based on science. No? So, kailangan natin ng ganitong informasyon so that it would guide the policy makers, the decision makers of how to decide objectively for the good of the environment and for the good of the community.
Makiling Biodiversity Information System, or shortly we call it MAKIBIS, has been developed following Darwin Core format, which is being endorsed by the ASEAN Center for Biodiversity in collaboration with the Global Biodiversity Information Facility to make biodiversity data all over the world interoperable and shareable with other information systems. It is envisioned that MAKIBIS will be an input to the Philippine Clearinghouse Mechanism and later on to the ASEAN Clearinghouse Mechanism.
In compliance with the Philippines' commitment to the Convention on Biological Diversity, the Biodiversity Management Bureau of the Department of Environment and Natural Resources is responsible for establishing and maintaining the Philippine National Clearinghouse Mechanism. The ASEAN Center for Biodiversity has assisted the BMB in building the capacity of our CHM staff and stakeholders to organize and manage species and protected areas data. The encoding tools that are available at the ASEAN CHM website have facilitated our digitization of species and protected areas information into formats recognizable by the global and international communities. We appreciate the continuing support of the ASEAN Center for Biodiversity to make our databases robust, a sound basis for planning, implementing, and monitoring our conservation and protection activities.
The ASEAN Clearinghouse Mechanism website was developed to serve the biodiversity information needs of the ASEAN member states. We enjoin you to use the information in this website to support policy and decision-making on biodiversity conservation. Let us all work together to keep the website relevant and responsive to the need for sound decisions on the conservation and sustainable use of the region's rich biodiversity. To get to know ASEAN's rich resources and biodiversity efforts, log on to chm.aseanbiodiversity.org.